So what we've got here is that when we're looking at these four activities, let's clarify what they are. We've got the physical body, which here it is, it's physical. We've got the life body, which is carried in the oxygen. So here we go, running in the morning, we're oxygenating our body, we feel more life. And so this is what that body does. It just purely makes us feel awake or tired, actually. And it can be seen as a sort of slight whiteness around very healthy people, or they get quite grey if that's not very strong. But it's really this body that's just giving us life, and it's carried in the water of our environment. And like water, water sits in a bowl, it'll just sit there and it'll go stagnant. So it needs something to keep it moving. And in that original picture, what we have with the astral body is that this is the body that's related to the planets. Now if you think about the big picture of the galaxy, fixed stars, the Earth, fixed, water that just sits there. So the only thing that is really moving are the planets. That's it in our basic reality. They're the bits that are moving. And as they move, they make stuff do stuff. And so that's why in that original picture, Steiner had this picture with a wavy sort of thing in it. And that is indicating the astral body. So it's indicating this body that brings movement. And then just to carry that story on, we have the spirit, which is related to the stars. And so it's the stars that are sitting here going. Now think of a star beaming at us for what? 6 billion years. Okay? There it is, beaming at us for 6 billion years. So that sets up, within our hologram, within our energetic hologram of the Earth, that sets up a standing wave of activity. And that standing wave is then sort of accumulated with these other energies that we get from the planets and from our atmosphere and from the Earth. And it was Paracelsus who made the comment that every species on Earth finds its origin in a star. And this is what he's saying, is that these are the formative force. This is what gives us form. That's the archetype. That's the bit that is the architect. It's got the plan. And the architect comes along to the astral body, the planets, who's like the master builder. And so the master builder gets the plan. He's the guy with all the movement. He's the energetic guy, you know. And so he goes, rightio, we've got the plan, now let's go do something about that. And so the etheric body is all his workers. They're all the life processes that are going to be used by the astral body to get this thing living. And of course the physical body is just all the timber and the bricks. And so this is what we've got going on here, these four players. The guy with the plan, the guy that's got all the energy to move the thing, the forces of life to make it happen, and the clay, the substance. And there's a big element of health that if the astral body is not incarnated strongly enough, then we don't go anywhere. We get sluggish circulation and we become very immobile. So we actually need the astral body. It's what actually revs us up and gives us the sort of feelings, the emotions, the psychological sort of impulses to do stuff. Now while we're just running past there, I should say astrology. In astrology, we are studying the movements of the planets and how they influence life on Earth. So it is the study of the astral body. And it's quite important to go back to that image of the big sun with the planets. And the sun, he's the boss. He's the guy that's got the plan. And the planets are just the compost heaps that are very secondary. So while we have to acknowledge that our astral body, that shows up as our feelings, our sort of emotions, our psychological issues, any kind of fear or joy, that's all living within this astral body. And but the spirit is separate to that. And so in an astrology chart, we don't have the spirit. We only have the astral body. And that's what can't be predicted. That's why astrology has to be left open. We can see the timing of events, and we can see the question and the issue, but we can't see the outcome because we don't have the spirit. We can't identify and predict the spirit. And the spirit, actually, in here now, in you, is that bit that is observing this moment. So even the bit that's observing you observing this bit, go there and just keep following that. Keep going to the observer. That is the spirit. It is real. It is you. It is there now. And all of the television screen that's going on, all of the emotions and the feelings and the impressions, and they talk about antipathy and sympathy, that's all the astral body. And so this relationship between this conscious being and this story that is going on and is predictable by the planets, that's the astral body. Now, just to come back, what we've got in the four kingdoms of nature is that we have the physical kingdom here, just a physical body, and so therefore those world bodies of the Earth's atmosphere and the solar system and the galaxy live outside and work directly onto that physical form. But what we have with the plant kingdom is that it's come along and picked up this living activity around in the atmosphere of the Earth, and it's wound that in, and so it picks up that physical activity and grows. And a plant doesn't have to go to seed. It can just keep on growing leaves. And I can show you some pictures of this. And this is because these activities coming from the planets and the stars are not internalized. And so we have these pictures that Steiner has and gives us this image of the plant and the astral activity sitting above it. And we talk about how it just touches the plant. And when that astral activity touches the plant flowers. So it goes into a puberty. And so what I'm saying, and I have proven, that if we hold off this astral activity, then that plant will not flower and will just keep growing leaves. But alternatively, we can bring that astral in, which will make the plant flower early. So this is the point of when Steiner's talking about this etheric formative force being this collective thing. The plant doesn't have an astral body or a spirit inside itself. So he bundles that all together as these etheric formative forces. And in that piece that I had there, in here he says, what we have in the human as the astral body and the spirit is contained within the etheric formative forces of the plant. And so we've got to recognise that this term is not incorrect, it's just very unclear. And that while the plant doesn't have the astral and the spirit incarnated, those activities still work down into the physical body. And so when we talk of etheric forces, of warmth and light and the chemical ether and this sort of stuff, Steiner is saying that the warmth ether is this spirit that is incarnating into the etheric body. Just as when we said earlier that the earthly substance is this astral activity working into the physical body. And so we've got to be a bit fluid in our thinking here and just start to look at how All of these activities are working all the time, just at different layers.